I apologize for my cat interrupting the clavichord playing. She is in the closet doing something, and I apologize. This is what happens when we do things from home, is that our little animals get crazy, so I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed my playing.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Parish Unitarian Universalist of Chelmsford online. Here we are again. We are a covenantal faith community gathered in the larger spirit of love for worship, faith formation, and in care and service for one another, our neighbors, and our world. Whether this is your first time joining us or your 1,000th, we are glad you're here. I'm Reverend Ellen Spiro, and I serve as the parish minister. I'm joined this morning by Dolores Heredia Wood, our Director of Lifespan Faith Formation, Dr. Christopher Grills, our music director, and Dave Caffeine, one of our church members extraordinaire, who's running the tech and the chat this morning behind the scenes. I'd like to thank all three of them for working with me to adapt this morning service for online only, kind of on a pivot. I have a couple of important announcements. Some of them were in the announcement sent out on Friday. They are also on our website. First is that the Standing Committee will be holding 2 cottage meetings to introduce the kickoff of the Carlene Merrill Fund in memory of our beloved member Carlene Merrill next Sunday, February 23rd in person at noon in the chapel, and on Monday, the 24th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Reminder that the annual First Parish auction, which is an important fundraiser and community event, will be held on March 15th, weather permitting. Auction organizer Teresa Popolowski is looking for donations of goods and services, and also for volunteers to help run the auction itself. Please see the announcements or visit our church website for more information. We will not be doing an offertory during the service today, but you can always donate online at our website, and they will provide the link in the chat. And finally, as we do the centerpiece of this service, I am going to be asking you to write some letters. So if you have a moment to grab some paper and pen, or if you want to do it on your laptop or something like that, you find some time as we go through the service to get ready to do that, please do. It's not necessary, but it might be fun. But now I would like to turn things over to Dolores, as she will center us with a chalice lighting and lead us in our covenant.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on this winter's day. I hope you can feel the warm, loving embrace of our community this morning. No matter if in person or online, you are welcome here. Today's chalice lighting is an adapted reading by Sherry Woodbury, Reverend Sherry Woodbury. Come in, be amongst us. To all of you who are journeying, come in. To all who are just getting started, come in. To all who long to go deeper, to all with tender places needing care, come in, be among us. Come in and be among us, to the ones who have healed and who have care to give. For those who are curious and hungry to learn. For those who know they have something to teach. For those who know that they have something to give. Come in, be among us. Come in and be among us, to the young, to the old, to the innocent, and to the jaded. the fresh of mind, and the deeply seated. There is room here for each and every one. Come in, be among us. There is room here for each and every one. Now, if you please join me in our First Parish of Chelmsford covenant. We, the members of First Parish of Chelmsford covenant, together to sustain and strengthen our beloved community by honoring and celebrating the spirit of life, nurturing all souls in search for truth and the sacred, caring and being present to one another in our joys and sorrows, bearing witness through service and justice and peace, and being good stewards of our congregation, our heritage, our Unitarian Universalist principles, and our earth.
Thank you, Dolores. As we said in our covenant, we share in our joys and sorrows. I have a joy that I'm going to share in a minute. You're also welcome to share any joys or sorrows or names of anyone that you are holding today in the chat. But because we are doing this both on Zoom webinar and on YouTube, I can't see the chat on the YouTube. So I'm not going to be able to read them, but just look out for what each other is sharing. But I do have one joy to share, which is that Rachel Hearn and Kai Outerbridge were married in our sanctuary last weekend, despite the snowy morning weather. They want to thank Warren Flewellen and Rebecca Gore, who attended the ceremony and helped family and friends navigate the sanctuary, and also to me for doing a wonderful job officiating the ceremony and coming despite the church being closed earlier in the day. It was a lovely, lovely thing to be able to do. So I'd like to invite us just to pause for a moment in quiet. And if you have any joys or sorrows or concerns or just people you're holding in your thoughts and prayers to put in the chat, to do so now. And we'll take a moment of quiet before I offer a time for meditation and prayer. Spirit of life and love, on this snowy day that offers a hush that only winter brings, while we are forced to be inside, it is also an invitation for us to be quiet for a minute, to not be busy, and to breathe. Something we need in these troubled days. I am grateful for this community that gathers, whether in body or in spirit, in joy and in sorrow, in hope and in courage. Each time we gather reminds us that each of us is contributing in some way, in acts big and small, to bringing more hope, more joy, more love and peace to one another, to our neighbors, and to our world. May we draw strength and hope from that. Amen. And blessed be. And now Christopher will offer us a musical meditation. Thank you, Christopher. It's perfect for winter morning. And it has been a winter, hasn't it? This month we have been in a weather loop that feels similar to 2015, although not quite as much snow. Frequent storms, snow and ice, cold temperatures. Tonight we'll get wind. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired of having to put on all the extra clothes that are required to go outside, the boots, the coat, the hats, gloves. I'm tired of shoveling and salting and scraping off my car to be able to go anywhere. But given all that is happening around us, these in many ways are just inconveniences. When we can't gather in person at church, we can do it online. We can hunker down in our warm homes, waiting impatiently perhaps for spring to come, because it will. The days are already getting longer, and in a few weeks, we will see green again. That is the challenge and joy of life in New England. We have seasons, sometimes in spades. But the seasons have a rhythm and a cycle that moves along no matter what else is happening. And while we can't stop winter from happening, we can't stop spring from coming either. I recognize that there is so much going on around us that is truly putting people's lives and livelihoods at risk. And I know that that adds another layer to the weight of winter that we may be feeling already. But living in this land of seasons brings me some hope, recognizing that what is immediately in front of us is not the whole story forever. Life is happening, growing, transforming in ways that we cannot see right now because of the snow. Krista Tippett wrote recently on her blog for On Being, "It is harder for us to train our eyes and imaginations on the beauty and creativity that are so alive in our world, the generative learning and stretching that are underway. These realities of our time are most visible close to home in worlds that we can see and touch. They are quiet. They do not trip the fear center of our brains, which incline us to attend more seriously in every moment to what feels dangerous and destructive. And in our time, that narrative of danger and destruction comes to us 1,000 times, 1,000 ways each day." She continues, "I want to be honest here. I am devastated and demoralized too by this moment's ravages, its shocking counterpoints of fragility and hubris. My heart breaks for the many human beings on the sharp edges of all that is breaking. We are called to take what is harmful seriously and to care and protect actively as much as to calm. And," she says, not but, and, "there is such a thing as deep time too. The view of time, the geologist as well as the mystic, the long arc of the moral universe that Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of. Deep time doesn't recognize the delineations we make in terms of years. It will see what is being seeded, what we tend across generations, what grows. The news that is, as we say, breaking, is never seeing things whole." I read that a couple weeks ago and I've been keeping it in my mind. And then I received this from Valerie Kaur, a community activist and author and founder of the Revolutionary Love Project. She sent out an idea this week for Valentine's Day and Black History Month. She said that in honor of Valentine's Day and Black History Month, let us reclaim love as a force for justice. Her organization is gathering love letters from across the country and delivering them in person to families impacted by the LA wildfires in Altadena, a historically Black neighborhood that was totally destroyed by the fires. So I'm going to invite us to participate in that today, to write love letters to the families in Altadena. So as I said, if you have a moment, you grab some paper and pen, or can do this on your laptop or iPad or whatever you have. I'm going to guide us through the prompts, and Dave will put them in the chat as we go, and we can write these letters. And at the end, I will tell you how you can either submit them digitally to the Revolutionary Love Project or how you can mail them. But I thought that this might be a way for us to participate in seeding our own little row of deep time, and help put some kindness into the world. So I invite you to begin your letter with "Dear friend." And here's prompt number 1. Dear friend, I remember a time when. Think of a challenge that you or our community faced and how it made you or all of them feel. Dear friend, I remember a time when. Prompt number 2. Then something surprising happened. ... But think about who showed up and what was their act of love. Then something surprising happened. I'll give us about 2 minutes. Prompt number 3. Because of that act of love, ... What changed because of what they did? And what changed after that? Because of that act of love. Give you a couple minutes. And the last prompt, I want you to know that, dot, dot, dot. So what did you learn from that moment? What do you want to make sure we all know? I want you to know that, dot, dot, dot. And then you can sign your letter. And Dave, if you could put the information in the chat about how to send digitally or what the address is, that would be great. I am also going to send the prompts and all this information out on our email list so that if you weren't ready to do it this morning and you want to do it some other time, or you didn't have an opportunity to catch it in the chat here, you can do it in your own time if you wish. But thank you for taking the time this morning to think about and write about and send some hope and kindness and compassion to the other side of our country. So before I close my part, just a reminder that this happens to be the Sunday that we have our online social hour, and Barry and Sue will be hosting it. And at the end of the service, after Dolores offers the benediction and Christopher is playing the postlude, we'll post the Google Meet link for the online social hour. But now I would like to turn things over to Dolores to close us out with a benediction. And thank you for joining us on this winter morning.
Today's benediction is adapted from Jane Javier Duval. You are beloved and welcome here. Remember, no matter how cold the winter, you are beloved and welcome in our community's warm embrace. Whatever is in your heart, however it is with your soul or your mind in this moment, you are beloved here, and we honor and celebrate you. Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside, or stories that have been forced beyond the edge of comfort, you are beloved here as you search for truth and the sacred. whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth, you are beloved here, and we care and are present through your joys and sorrows. Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful, you are beloved and welcome here, as together we bear witness for justice and peace. Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises, you are beloved and welcome here, as together we all strive in being good stewards of our congregation, our heritage, our Unitarian Universalist beliefs, and our earth. In the space of welcome and acceptance, even when we are no longer on camera or in church, our commitment and we commit and recommit to our covenant and connection. Let us remember together, we are a blessing to one another as we honor and celebrate the spirit of life together in our community and throughout the earth. Have a wonderful day.